Hi, welcome to MoggyBoxCraft. I'm Deborah and today I'm going to share with you how I make lentil soup in bulk. Because I can't cook for 2 people, I cook for 20. Let's call it meal prep. I like to make loads of soup at one go because it's easier. Then I store it in Tupperware so we can eat it throughout the week. So I know I've always got something healthy for lunch or dinner. It's way cheaper than buying cans of soup. So yeah, I can't make soup for just 2 people. I usually make about 20 to 30 portions at one time. And this is the pot I like to use. So this pot tells me how many litres in here, so I think it's 12 litres. So it's quite a big pot. So when I'm using this pot, I can usually get about 25 to 30 portions of soup out of it. What are y'all gonna need for your mammoth soup making session? Let me show you. So we're gonna need our pots. So I've got one big one and a slightly smaller one. This is for soaking the lentils and the barley. You're then going to need a whole load of Tupperware. For the main ingredients, you're going to need red lentils, barley, salt, pepper, vegetable stock cubes, onions, carrots, and then today I'm going to add in some broccoli just because it needs to be used up. These are actually onions I grew in my own garden and I didn't have quite enough, so I have had to buy some from the shops. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is weigh out the lentils and the barley and then soak them in a pot of water. So I get a bowl or scales, press the on button, make sure it's at 0, and then add our lentils. So I'm going to put in 700 grams of red lentils. Perfect. We're just going to pop that into our pot. And then barley, add in about 300 grams. Oh, a little bit over, never mind. And add that to your pot as well. So now you've got your lentils and your barley in your pot. Take your pot to your sink, cover the lentils and the barley with the water. I don't know how you describe this, but can you see that sort of the water going cloudy? You kind of want to rinse them until they're going clear and you can cook them straight away, or leave them to soak overnight. This just cuts down the cooking process a little bit. Like, I don't have time to soak this overnight, so I'll just cook it for a little bit longer. So I'm just going to rinse my lentils and barley. It's just cold water I'm using. So I'm just stirring it really gently so I don't stir up the lentils and barley too much. I don't end up losing lots of the pearl barley and the red lentils down the plug hole. When the water starts to get clear like this, and I can see my lentils and barley, I turn off the tap, pour a little bit of water out. Shush sink. What a big noise. So I'm just going to leave this to soak for an hour and then we'll continue. So my lentils and barley have been soaking for about 45 minutes. So that's how they're looking. I mean, I would like to leave them a little bit longer, but I just don't have the time today. We're going to rinse these out and get them in the pot to start cooking. Usually what I do is I just get a sieve, a soup ladle, start ladling them in, then just give them a final rinse. And then get your massive pot and dump them in. Keep going until you've done all your lentils. For the last one, just pouring this in. And that's all your lentils and barley in your massive big pot. To add some cold water into your pot with your lentils and your barley, go ahead and pop that onto your stove. Turn on your stove as high as possible, pop a lid on. When the water starts boiling, then turn it down to a simmer. So I think that's the soup boiling. Yeah, now my lentils and barley are boiling. Turn that down to a simmer. So now our soup is simmering nicely. We're going to start adding some vegetables. So I'm going to add the carrots, onions and broccoli. Now time to prep our veg. So with your onions, just take off the outer skin on your onion. So I just like to cut off both ends and then chop in half and just peel off the outer skin on the onion. Like that. For the carrots, give your carrots a good wash. And I just like to chop off the ends and then just chop them into more bite-sized pieces because we're going to deal with that in a minute. And then I like to keep my ends of carrots so I can give it to the dogs. So I'm going to be using 975 grams of onion. So I guess anywhere between 950 grams to like 1,000 grams of onions. For the carrots, we've got 1,376 grams of carrots. Broccoli, we've got 206 grams, so about 200 grams. Now, to make my life easier, ain't got no time for all that chopping and such like, and I like my soups to be quite smooth. You can chop your veg up at this point really small into chunks or cubes, or if you like your soup chunky, that's fine. You can use a hand blender after you've made your soup, just to whiz everything up and make it a bit smoother, but I kind of feel like that I lose like the chunkiness of the barley, so I just like to use my food processor to do all the veg in. So I guess that's what I'm going to do now. So yeah, just add a few of the onions. I'll probably add about half the onions into my food processor, is that what it's called? Let's put your onions in, pop it on your blender, make sure everything's locked, make sure it's plugged in. I usually do mine in the low dose setting. So that's 15 seconds. And that's how they look. Put the onions into your soup mix and repeat. And try to remember the onions will make you cry. So onions will make you cry, or feel like you're going to cry, oh my goodness. But you can embrace those onion tears, especially if you just need to get your emotions out. Just, you know, the onion feels. I don't even know what that is, but it's a thing now. Oh my goodness. So just use a well ventilated area. Put on an extractor fan. Woo! Or you're going to be like sobbing all over this soup. Next up, carrots. Same ideas with the onions. Pop in your carrots into your food mixer or into your food blender and on the low dose setting again. God, isn't this so much easier than chopping things? I love this. Whereas I've got a Ninja, a Nutri Ninja, whatever it's called. It comes with different attachments. So I use this every day for my smoothies as well, except it comes with, so it does come with like other attachments like this. And I use this every day for like my smoothies. And it also comes with like a full-on superpower blender thingy with like blades and stuff. Is that a good description? Not really. Pop your carrots into the mix as well. Pop in the carrots. And then just repeat until you've blitzed all your carrots as well. I probably do the carrots for a little bit longer, so like maybe 20 to 30 seconds. And that's how the carrots look. Add that to your soup. That's the last of the carrots going in. So lastly, pop in your broccoli, pop your lid on, and blend. And that's how the broccoli looks. Pop that in as well. Give everything a really good stir. Mix it all together. Pop your lid back on and turn the heat right back up. When that comes to a boil, I'm just going to turn it down to a simmer and let it simmer for about half an hour. So yeah, I will add some boiling water from the kettle. I just like to top up my pot with some boiling water. Don't want it too full because then it'll bubble over. But just add as much water as you feel. I tend to fill it. I fill my pot to about 10.5 litres, 11 litres max. Just because if you fill it too full, it will bubble and it'll bubble over. Oh, and I'm also going to put the extractor fan on. When it starts boiling, turn it down to a simmer. And then remember to put your extraction fan on. So that's how everything's looking together in the pot. So that's the soup starting to bubble. So we're just going to turn it down to a simmer. And remember to mix your soup every now and again, just to make every sort of, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure there's no, just to make sure nothing's sticking on the bottom of your pot. So we're going to leave that to simmer for half an hour, just checking it every 5 to 10 minutes. So I think it's been about half an hour since we put the soup on. So that's how the soup's looking after half an hour of simmering. Pop the lid back on. So now our soup's been simmering for 30 minutes. I'm now going to add my stock cubes. So these are the stock cubes I use. This is going to seem like a lot, but I'm going to throw one away. 14 stock cubes, which I know sounds like a lot, but we're making a really big pot of soup. So I think it works out to be like half a stock cube per serving, which seems like a lot, but that's just the type of soup I like. Obviously, just put in to taste what you like. So these are the stock cubes I am using. Go ahead and unwrap all of these. Take your sharp knife and just roughly chop all your stock cubes up. That's a whole lot of seasoning and flavour. So I tend to find I don't always need a lot of like salt and pepper as well. I've got that in my hand mixer, so when I pour it in the stock cubes, I'm going to mix it with these. Now, I don't want to over mix because then you lose like the texture of the barley. It's a time saver. Just saves me stirring and it makes sure I don't have any lumps from the stock cubes. Pop all your stock cubes into your soup mix. Now your stock cubes are in, just give it a mix with your hand mixer. And we're done. Well, this bit, for this bit at least. Do a little taste test. Oh, it's good. So at this point you just want to add a little bit of salt and pepper, just to taste. A little bit of pepper. I always think this is like really individual. And I might just pop a little bit of salt in there as well. Give that a really good mix. I'm just going to pop the soup back on the heat. The reason I put my stock cubes in last is I tend to find that's what makes your soups, well, makes my soup stick to the bottom of my pot. So if I put them in last, I don't have that same problem. I'm gonna just let this simmer for another 5-10 minutes, take it off the heat and let it cool down for a few hours before I transfer it into Tupperware to then put in the freezer. So it's been a few hours. The soup has definitely cooled. I look a bit dishevelled because I've been to the gym. So now my soup's cooled, it's ready to put into like Tupperware to put into the freezer, or however you want to store it. I recommend a Tupperware dish. And by Tupperware, what I mean is these plastic tubs that you get from like takeaways. So I can't bear to throw these out, and I save them. You'll probably recognise them from other videos, such as when I made my cake bites. Yeah, and I like to store all my crafts in these things as well. So I've just laid out a whole load of dishes here, and I'm just going to use my jug to scoop my soup into my Tupperware. So now our soup is cooked. That's how it's looking. I don't know if you guys can see up here. So we've made 10 litres of soup. Time to get it into some containers. That's all I'm going to do is take my jug, scoop some soup out and put it into a dish. That's it. I might just use a dish under it though so it doesn't go everywhere. And that's it done. That's all the lentil and barley soup. Just going to pop some lids on. So soup's done, 25 portions. So I hope you've enjoyed this lentil and barley soup recipe. I'll pop the recipe in the description box below for you, and hopefully you'll find that helpful. And all I've got to do now is pop these guys in the freezer. So it's just a great way to not spend as much money on soup. It takes a little bit of time. At least then you know you're going to have healthy lunches, or part of a healthy dinner. If you'd like to see more of my recipes and things I grow in my garden to make recipes with, do subscribe. Subscribing is optional, but it is really appreciated. And that way you can see if I upload new videos of new recipes and recipes of things I've made that I've grown in my garden. I mean, it's not going to be for a while yet because it's the middle of winter still, but it is coming. Spring is coming in a few months. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye! I suppose I'm going to pop all this stuff in the freezer now, aren't I? I think it's a little bit too warm to put in the freezer. Might just leave it a little bit longer to cool down. I know what I'll do. I'll pop it outside because it's about, what temperature is it? Freezing. 3 degrees apparently. It's going to chill the soup down quicker than it is my freezer, isn't it? And then we're going to heat the rest of the freezer up a lot. Hi bud, are you watching the soup for me? Where are you? I've just popped the soup out here onto my decking. The soup will cool down out here really quickly, and then I will pop it in the freezer. How are you doing? You good? Hi! You good boy? Oh, hello. Hi. Okay, we love you, bye-bye. We're going to say goodbye. You just want lovies. You just want lovies. Pal pal. Pal pal. How you doing? How you doing, bud? Have a scratch. Hi, Chase. Oh. Okay. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.